colleagues from CIC and the Crescent University School of Business, my friends from the media. First and foremost, I must tell you, I'm an ex-journalist, so I have been on the other side. So I'll start off with very simple declaration. Traditional media is dying. How many of you here agree? All of you agree. However, I'll say that journalists are also a dying breed. Traditional journalists. But I'll also say in the same breath, having run a knowledge services company, from a journalist I became an entrepreneur, and I exited 10 years ago. So I became a successful entrepreneur. I'll also say the same thing, that there is an opportunity. Content creation is thriving. You see the number of people on Clubhouse, you see the number of people on Twitter Spaces, you see the number of podcasts, you see the number of newsletters, paid newsletters. You see the companies that we are investing in. The Chennai Angels, of which I am a member and so is Reggie, has invested in companies like Nojoto, which are content creation platforms and marketplaces. My request to you is, you should consider doing this program, the MBA IEV, because it will transform you from being a journalist who's dependent on traditional media to an independent entrepreneur who's a content creator or a content platform creator or a content business person. And believe me, I have invested in such content companies. I can tell you that there is no longer a business model for traditional media in India or overseas, but there is a model for content creation, and it is very good for you to consider doing a program like IEV, MBA IEV. Now, why am I going to talk about this? Because one of the biggest problems today that we have is employment. And employment in the media, if you look at it during the pandemic, coronavirus, I have a lot of my good friends from the media who lost their jobs. I know many people who were given what they call furlough, or many people who had to take 50% salary. All of you are here. I don't want to tell the names of the media houses which sacked people. I don't want to tell you the names of people who got kicked out. But even a particular paper which is down the road, not even 2 kilometers from here, completely sacked its Bombay office. I think you all know which establishment I'm talking about. So employment is a problem. How big is the problem is what we don't know. We need 1 million jobs, that's 10 lakh jobs every month for the next 15 to 20 years. So we're talking about 20 to 24 crore jobs that need to be generated. Now, government employment has been stagnating around 8.33 lakhs, around 8.3 to 8.5 lakhs. Defense forces are excluded from this calculation. Private sector, just the top 10 companies are generating 25 lakh jobs. People like HDFC, ICICI, etc. Now, if you want jobs to be created, you cannot depend on the government. You can't depend even on large private sector, because an automotive industry today employs only few hundred people. A large one, 5,000 crore investment, generates only 500 of 1,000 people employment maximum. But what can create jobs? If you were to create 5 million entrepreneurs who create an average of 40 jobs per entrepreneur, you have created 20 crore jobs. That is the intent behind this MBA IEV. Can we create more entrepreneurs who can create jobs? Why is this important? India has a per capita of just about $2,000. I just add $1 a day. I'm increasing the GDP by about 18%, ladies and gentlemen. Just $1 a day. And why is this so important? Even neighboring Sri Lanka is at $3,700. 1.7 times what we are. Much bigger than us. China is at $10,000. I don't even want to go to the US, which is at $68,000. Forget about Liechtenstein, which is at about $170,000. Just doubling our per capita makes us better. But to do that, we need more entrepreneurs. We need to democratize, make entrepreneurship more accessible. So first I've talked about this challenge of livelihoods and incomes and jobs. But I'll also talk about the other thing, which is the opportunity. I think Parvez mentioned about 61 unicorns. That's a very good thing. There is an opportunity today for all of you, including you in this room, to create tremendous wealth from being an entrepreneur. And we have seen it firsthand as angel investors. We are seeing many new entrepreneurs. In 3-4 years itself, they are able to build businesses which are very large. There is a new company called Apna, which in a matter of 2 to 3 years itself has become a unicorn. So there is a possibility to create tremendous wealth. We are seeing a company like Oyo, which is more value than all of India's hospitality sector put together. A company like Make My Trip or Zomato is bigger than I think all the entire valuation of all the other hospitality people, all restaurants, all hotels, everything. So we are talking about a very different kind of an India. And this is an India which can create a lot of wealth. So far, I believe one of the things that I would like our media people, because I have been one myself, is to look at wealth and money creation less emotionally and more objectively. Money creation is not bad. Profit making is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It actually helps the country. Somehow we have to get out of that slightly socialist mindset that we have. So the second thing I would say is that when you're looking at entrepreneurship, you're looking at this opportunity. Funding too has increased. In July, for the first time, India beat China in raising venture capital, private equity funding. For the first time ever, in 1 month. The highest. And in this year, we have already raised about 8 billion and China raised about 5 billion. And so far in this year, in July end, we have raised 36 billion. 1 billion is 7,500 crores. So Indian startups have raised 36 billion, which is a large amount of money. So you cannot say that we don't have money to start funding our startups. So there is a lot of money available for good startups, for good entrepreneurs. We are seeing it all the time. We are competing. In fact, Rajan and us sometimes compete, sometimes we collaborate with respect to the same kind of startups. Now the other aspect that we have to remember is that India is an entrepreneurial nation. We have communities which are very entrepreneurial. They are business communities, whether they are Chettiars or Nadars or a lot of the Gujaratis, Marwadis, Sindhis. We have a lot of communities which are entrepreneurial. But we need almost entire India to be entrepreneurial and in a very good way. To be starting a business is a very tough proposition in India. A hotel license in Delhi, I'm told, a hotel needs 29 permits and licenses to operate. This is ridiculous. This is where we know we need to simplify things, and this is where I think it is the job of all of us here to make entrepreneurship more accessible. Why do I think this is important? Because I believe, like people talked about, entrepreneurship drives innovation, it drives value creation, therefore it drives business creation, therefore it drives job creation. At the end of the day, we have to make money also. Because the more money there is, the bigger this cake, the bigger all of us have a share. I think the times are gone when we are looking at 1,000 crores as a large number. Today we should look at entrepreneurs creating 10,000 crores. And I'm happy to tell you that today's entrepreneurs are thinking much bigger than you and I can ever think. So therefore I believe that this is the right time for a program like the MBA IEV, which is Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development. Why does Crescent, to my mind, have what it takes to deliver it successfully? First and foremost, I don't know how many of you are aware, but one of the things that matters to me is the network. The network that Crescent has, not just in India, but also abroad, in the Middle East, in Singapore, in many other parts, is tremendous. It already has several partnerships. It has the Crescent Innovation and Incubations Council itself has 10 plus international partnerships. If you see the brochure, you'll see that it has 10 plus international partnerships and about 36 plus national partnerships. That's a big amount of network for a new entrepreneur to have. The second thing is the resources. I think it is opportune time to mention that Crescent, the educational group has 55 programs grouped under 12 different schools, 30 undergraduate programs, 23 postgraduate programs, and PhD in all departments. It's also part of the National Knowledge Network connecting national research laboratories and other educational institutions. So it doesn't lack for resources. Third thing is the approach. As all the other people before me have said, this is an immersive experiential program and not the usual MBA. So therefore, that's the third thing that matters. The fourth thing that matters for me is the attitude of the group. From the beginning, the management of the group and the operating academic council have been very clear that at the end of the day, the student matters and we have to do the best by the student. And I think that has been one reason why I have continued to remain as an advisor to the council, the Innovation Council, and be part of this program as well. And finally, what we are interested as entrepreneurs, as businessmen and as people is that we have measurable outcomes. So very clearly, we are interested in seeing how we can create more viable startups over a period of time. We've already created 75 startups. We have funded them 5 to the extent of 7 crores. I'm happy to tell you in the Tamil Nadu Innovation Voucher Program, there were 100 vouchers given by Tamil Nadu government recently. Out of the 100 in the entire state of Tamil Nadu, 17 were received by the Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council. So just one incubator, that is us, got the maximum number. That tells you that we have the ability to deliver these outcomes. So this, in short, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to do this is repeat this time and time again. Ideate, validate, create, launch, scale, and monetize. For me, this is the virtuous cycle, and therefore I believe this is the right time for such a program, and that Crescent is the right place and the right people to launch such a program. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a pleasant day.